Okay guys, father and son RC here, and we've got some upgrades for the X Maxx. We might have mentioned this in some of the shorts, but first off, stack of tires. We've got sledgehammers with the green wheels to match the green body. We have the aluminum steering bell crank. We have the aluminum steering tie rods. We have the stiffer spring. We have the servo adapter. We've got a hot racing servo horn and the Savox. What is this one? I don't even know what the part number is, but lots and lots of torque and good for 8.4 volts. That's got a hobby wing ESC in it, so we should be able to juice up the servo torque. Here we go.
I'm working on it right now.
I'm getting this thing apart. Okay guys, we're getting the screws out. We're using the Traxxas support webpage. So we got to get these guys. Where's my finger? There it is. Got to get these guys out. Those are the same size. They're pretty big screws. And then in here, in that hole right there, and the same on the opposite side. And then these guys as well. So the ones in the holes are shorter. The ones in here are cap screws. And these are longer button head screws, these two in here. So we're gonna keep going. All right, now we remove the steering linkage screw on top as well. We're gonna remove these 4 screws and hopefully this thing should separate. All right, so now.
Well, I didn't expect it to be easy.
So now, this
should come apart. Oh, yes, we did it.
So now you break your car in half. All right, wait, hold on. Maybe we got to do something else.
Maybe.
No, not those. That's the motor mount.
Oh.
These.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. So we just had to pull harder to get it separated.
Yep.
And there is the servo we're after.
Okay.
All right, so we take those 4 screws out.
Yay.
And then we take that center skid plate out.
Very dirty.
And lo and behold,
the servo.
The servo.
It's a lot bigger than I thought.
Yep, that's why we have to have that servo adapter. All right, we're gonna get to it. We gotta take the servo horn off. Take that out of the way. Gonna take the servo horn off. And then we can start popping the servo out and making our modifications. So for some reason, Traxxas tells you to remove the receiver box cover after you're already flipped the thing over and you're taking the bottom off. I don't know why they don't just have you take it off when you're taking the top off. Here we go, a little trick here. In order to get to the receiver box, we got to get to the screw that is in there. So if you pop the battery thing out, boom, you can access that screw.
We totally knew that.
Which is right there, that guy.
We knew that.
Yeah. Okay, so here we are. We have, this is the receiver box opened up, and like the wire clamp bar, it's got a little foam in here to kind of pinch down on the wires and seal the wires. So we have to get the servo wire out, which is channel 1, because it's 1 to turn and 2 to burn. And then burn rubber, that is, 2 to burn rubber. So 2 is the throttle. So we got to sneak out number 1, and then sneak in the new servo wire from the Savox servo. Okay, just for size comparison here.
This is the new one.
The new stronger servo.
Yeah.
Which is the digital SW1210SG.
This is the old one, the one it came with.
And this is the chunky old, wow, and the chunky old one weighs like nothing. It has this aluminum heatsink on it. And it's actually, I think it's lighter than the, I think it is. I mean, granted, this is Metal Gear and stuff, but anyway, so we're going to get to it. And we'll figure out how to get this thing in there. Okay, guys, we have the Savox servo in. no cutting or anything required. On the body, we've got this bracket, which is this guy, 7749. Then we drop a screw. And we got the hot racing servo horn because it's got a different number of teeth on the end. So that's this guy. That is XMX48S H25. I guess it's a aluminum standard servo arm, 25 tooth for X Maxx. So we're gonna get that in. Went in nice and easy. I did have to shave the little tapered bit right there on the Savox servo because there was a little too much there. So I shaved that down a little bit to fit in the adapter. And then you got to clip this screw mount off it on both sides so that where the body slides in, right, that'll actually still slide in.
Interesting.
So we're going to flip this thing over and plug that servo in. Okay.
Alright, guys. So we use these Power Hobby light bulb batteries for the X Maxx. Worked really well. And the Traxxas channel was very, very helpful in how to replace the servo.
Yep. So
I recommend.
We got the servo horn on here. We powered it up just momentarily to make sure that it's, you know, facing upright in the right direction so that we've got 0 set. And now we have to, you know, get into the rest of this and put the new steering components in. So we'll show you that too. Okay.
So we're going to replace all of these in the front modules. All these things. It's going to look really cool.
Yep. So we got to get this gray piece off. That stays. That doesn't look like we get a new piece there. So this we keep. But this servo saver we replace. It's got a new servo saver. And we've got the stiffer spring and the metal arm. And we're going to get into it. Okay, guys. So we got these guys in. These are actually, because this is the wide kit, so these are actually the ones for the what's the other one?
The normal stock.
No. These are the wide ones.
Oh.
What's the
XRT?
XRT, right.
Oh.
Yeah. Good job. These are the ones for the XRT, which is basically the wide kit for the X Maxx. And when you put them in, these are not even. See that longer on that side there? So that goes up. So that'll go in there. Then when we get this guy in here, there we go, better lighting. We get this guy in here, we have to take all of these bearings out and we have to put them into these pieces here. So we're going to do that now. This just lifts off. It gets a little stuck on here, but it actually just lifts out. And so we're going to get to replacing all of these things and get that all set up. And then we'll get it reinstalled. And we'll clean that up while we're at it. Okay, guys, we're still going here on the X Maxx steering upgrade. So see how that moves nice and easy? And that guy moves nice and easy. But this guy wasn't moving so easy. So maybe this is some of the issues we had. So we removed these little things that retain these pins. Well, they go that way. Oh, what am I doing? I'm not even showing you. Here we go. We removed these little guys that retain these pins because I figured I'd take the whole thing apart and lube it. But then what I discovered, let's see if I can get some light on there for you. Oh, this is like the worst video ever. There it is. See that pin? Come on. There we go. That pin is supposed to go into the bottom of this knuckle. So So I'm going to try and pull that out. And there we go. It's a little more in focus now. That pin right there. You shouldn't see that silver part. That should go into the bottom of this black knuckle. And no doubt that's why it's binding up. So we bought this thing used. This was my son's first big RC that he bought. It was this X Maxx. I don't know if the guy before us did that or if that's just from bashing it and it got out of position. But we're going to try and put that back in and see if it steers any better. Maybe that was our issue all along. And if it was, then at least we got some really cool aluminum parts. Alright, so is this upside down? Hold on. Alright, so here's the knuckle. And see that burr right in here? Let's see if I can point to it. That burr right there. So it looks like this was from bashing, that pin was out of place. So I'm going to file down that burr and put it all back together the way it's supposed to be. And then we'll keep an eye on it. But we're probably going to have to replace these knuckles. So that'll be another video. But for now, we're going to put it back together and see if the steering is a little bit better. Okay, so lo and behold, when we get those pins properly aligned, the steering is nice. And that was a pain to get that pin back in there. The pin is this guy. It's under this cap. Where the heck am I? There we are. Pin is under this cap. And these screws are stripped also, so this knuckle's shot. So gonna have to get a new one. And might as well go aluminum so it matches, so it'll look cool. I wonder if you can get this on aluminum, because that would look cool. I'll have to check. This is where the servo horn comes in. The little nub that sticks off the front of the servo horn anyway. Let's see, can we see that? Yeah, there it is. That sticks in there. And this will connect to here with this guy, the adjustable link. So I'm going to get back to it. And pause. Okay, so after we fixed our steering issue with that pin, now we got the chassis, the main part of the chassis flipped over. And we put the drive shaft back in. The Savox servo came with quite a bit of servo wire. And so I put some extra down here. And I zip tied it in place, because otherwise it would tend to fall out. Keep in mind this is upside down. So when this thing's bashing around, you don't want it rubbing against your drive shaft and wearing a hole in the, or wearing through the wire, right? So anyway, I just zip tied it so that that doesn't happen. So we're going to get this stuff put back together. This goes like this. That goes in there like that. Okay. Put these these 4 screws in the back here. Then we'll slide the whole thing together. We'll put these other screws in. We'll put it all back together and we'll see if she works. Okay guys, so here we are back together. We got the 8 screws. Oops. In the whatever that center brace thing is. Of course, the drive shaft is in there. First you put these 4 in rather. You slide the whole front component in. Then you put these guys in. You might have to turn the turn the axles a bit so that you can line the drive shaft up. But that'll slide right in. Then you flip her over, and at the top side it's easy. It's let's see if I can get something to point with. The end of a toothbrush. There we go. Let's get a good angle on it here. Okay. There we go. We got light too. So that screw, and those are long ones, and they're the same on this side. Long screw. Where the heck's the other one? long screw. It's behind this little battery tray thing. Easier to see now. Long screw, and then down in these holes here. Hard to see. Anyway, those are shorter screws. Those are the same length as what goes in the that center plate in the body, in the bottom. Then you mount this guy up here, and we should be good. That's all the screws, so should be good. While we had it flipped over, we noticed we got a leaky shock here. Let's see, it's kind of schmooey right there, so it's gonna need some more love. We'll figure out how to rebuild shocks. And maybe we'll see if we can get this thing in aluminum, this gray piece. That would just look cool. And what else? Oh, and we got to replace these knuckles. I think these are RPM knuckles. So we'll either get the aluminum ones from the Ultimate X Maxx, and then this basically is an Ultimate X Maxx, I suppose. Or we'll just get more RPM ones. We'll see. All right, let's put some batteries in it and see if she steers. All right, moment of truth. Ooh, it works. We're going to have to set the endpoints. Because as you can hear it struggling a little bit there at the ends. But she steers. Let's see. She's got throttle. It's alive. We'll get the new wheels mounted on it and take it for a rip at some point. We'll get another video of that. That'll be another time. We'll get the wheels mounted on it though. We can show you that. Hey, we're back. These are the new sledgehammers with the green rims so that it matches the green body and all the new green parts, right? We just put the steering parts in, and they're vented on the inside. And I just put a dab of hot glue over each of the vent holes. There's one on each. Well, they're opposing. There's not really sides because it's round. Because these tires, when we drove it in the snow, ultimately I did the same thing, put hot glue on them. But when we drove it in the snow packs on the inside of the wheel, or maybe even just in the rain. The snow kind of packs on the inside of the wheel, and the moisture gets into the foams, and it destroyed the foams. So we had to boil these in water. There's a short on that, or a video on that. We boiled them in water, put new foams in, and now they're okay. But that was a lot of work and a lot of effort. So hopefully that doesn't happen with these new sledgehammers. Comment if you know the advantages of why those are supposed to be vented, and if we're going to have problems. I mean, I know they're supposed to be vented because they're vented, but what kind of problems are we going to have if we keep them sealed? Let us know. I'm going to come back at you in a minute. Once I get this tire mounted, we'll get the body on. We'll show you what it looks like. All right, guys, there it is. There's the final look at the X Maxx with the new sledgehammers. We got the matching green wheels. We got the upgraded steering components, and hopefully this thing rocks. We'll take you guys out for a spin, but the steering upgrade and install was super easy. I mean, we bought these parts. These are the ones for the XRT because this has the wide-maxx kit. So 7897G. Those are the tie rod links. We bought the this is the stiffer spring and the metal servo arm link 7746X. This was the 7749. This was the bracket for the servo adapter to go to a regular 10th scale servo. This is the Savox servo we put in there, but you can use any 10th scale servo. And this is the belt crank kit that we used. and it is 7746-GRN. So that's the whole steering bell crank, and you need to pull the bearings out of your old steering bell crank, so they don't come with it. So I just reassembled this just so that we have it. I don't know why, but if we need it. So that's it. And then, the tires, these are not the belted ones. These are 7774G, presumably for green. Those are the Sledgehammer tires. So I think that is all of the parts we used. Oh, and we used a Hot Racing servo arm, the little bell crank dude that goes on here, 25 tooth, sort of standard one, that's made for the X Maxx, and I think I showed you guys that already. That's it. Yeah, easy. No cutting other than snipping the little ears off the extra ears off the servo, like it says in the instructions for the adapter plate. Really pretty simple. So next steps, we got to get endpoint set, and we got to see if we can figure out how to get that Max 6 to give us 8.4 volts so that we can have tons and tons of torque and lots of fun. Oh, and eventually we're going to have to get those hubs replaced, right? Because we had that pin out of position. So we'll probably either replace them again with RPMs and see how that goes. And if we have problems again, then we'll probably go to the aluminum ones. But looks pretty good. So there she is. X Maxx with sledgehammers. All right. Like and subscribe, guys. This is just father at this point because son had to go to bed. So there we go. There is the X Maxx. Some glamour shots, and we'll get some shorts of this thing running around out in the yard. Probably my son will do that before I even get home from work. All right. Like and subscribe, guys. Thanks.